Welcome to Different Roots Radio, where entrepreneurs share their journeys and wisdom. Today, we are joined by the founder of Unicorn Charity Basketball Camp. Based in Canada, the camp helps to support underprivileged kids between the ages of 11 and 13, as well as helping to fight racial inequality. Unicorn focuses on 3 pillars: leadership, celebrating diversity, and being involved in the community. Get involved in the Different Roots Radio community by commenting on our video or liking, sharing, and subscribing. Let's get it.
Welcome to Different Roots Radio. You're joined by Damien Tamain. We're lucky to have David Wang, who is the founder of Unicorn Charity Basketball Camp out in Newmarket, Canada, for those that don't know. So the camp is focused around providing an opportunity for kids to gather during the summer months to play basketball and then learn, escape from any sort of racial inequality that they may face in their private lives, and also learn how to get along with each other. So this camp just started in 2021. We know, we got delays because of COVID and regulations, but we're very happy to have David come in and, essentially dribble the ball with us and teach us a little bit about what goes on out in Newmarket. So thanks,
Amazing.
Dave.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It is our pleasure. Dami's always like, Tamain, stop talking about basketball so much on the podcast. And now I can finally just talk about basketball. Wow. Happy days.
There you go, man. Who's winning the chip this year?
That's good question.
Well,
Lakers.
Well, Lakers by default, but, we
got some injuries.
But, repping Canada, I've still got to say Raptors, but even though Lowry's gone, but,
Raptors did beat the Lakers the other day.
I will say Raptors. I'll just say Raptors just as an association, and so that Dave doesn't actually beat my ass out. So.
Come on, brother. Raptors are what, 11th seed right now? We can't even make it into the play-in.
I know. It's wishful thinking. That's where.
There you go.
So tell us, why did you start Unicorn? First of all, how did you come up with the name Unicorn? Because it has lots of connotations in different groups. I'm not going to say which ones, but Unicorn.
It's magical. That's how I got it. How did you perceive it?
Well, in sports and basketball, you can in sports, a unicorn is someone very special, like one of a kind athlete.
Okay.
And then you have also in investing, you have unicorns.
Okay.
So, and then also, I'm pretty sure there's something sexual to do with unicorns, but I don't know about it because I don't get down with that. But I'm pretty sure there is something.
Tamain's mother.
Why are you always going to bring my mother? We need a timeout while we have a quick fight. All right, shirts off, court. Let's go. Court rules on.
Wow. Shirts off.
God.
Wow, what are you trying to do to me?
Well, that might be a unicorn moment right there. I don't know. Is that right, T? Is that what it means? Maybe. No, to be honest, guys, when we first started, well, this actually translated from our basketball team. So we played in a men's league team in Newmarket, and our team's name was Unicorn because we thought we're all unique. A bunch of unique individuals came together, and we couldn't find a name for the longest time. And somebody just threw in Unicorn in there. It kind of stuck with everybody just because of the uniqueness. And you don't necessarily associate unicorns with, I guess, the basketball team. So that's where it started. And once we decided to run this camp, I think we first got this idea probably last year in March, 2020 in March, and it was just fitting, like you mentioned, T. Unicorn is something that's very, very special and very unique, and we want to bring this level of uniqueness to the kids that are joining our camp, and that's how we came up with the name. Just to I guess talk a little bit about how we came up with this camp is I was very inspired through the whole Black Lives Matters movement.
Yeah.
And just the whole social outrage that's going on social media. And I wanted to do something that's active. I love the people who post, Black Lives Matters posts and even black out their Instagram page. But I felt like I had to do something as opposed to just sitting behind a screen and sending a picture on Instagram and feel like my job is done there. So that's kind of how we came out with this camp. And once I talked to one of my buddies from the camp, from the team, and he was into it. Right. At the end of the day, it's about empowering the youth and helping these I guess, racial minorities or people who are not as privileged get into a position of power where we can make more of a systematic change as opposed to, protesting and address specific issues. And that's kind of the goal of the camp.
So how do you go about answering those kind of questions, or do you set aside time during the camp to address it, or is it just like implied by the values that the camp has?
No, it's so the camp itself, it not only involves basketball training. I mean, we got some D2 coaches from the States, which is fantastic.
Whoa.
But
is that your assistant coach as a D2?
Is a head coach.
Head coach or assistant coach?
Yeah. I think he's a D2 player down in the States. I have no idea which school he went to, but hey, man, D2 sounds good, right?
Yeah.
So I guess equality, education, and diversity is embedded in this camp. I think out of we're going to run a one-day camp as a trial. Out of that one day, 3 hours is just about equality education, right? Through games, through videos. We're getting a speaker from the BLM chapters in Toronto to come and speak to us. So again, I think basketball aside, we also have a huge piece of our camp, which is about racial equality and celebrating diversity.
Do you have quite a diverse camp, or is it like the people who come to play basketball? Is it all different sorts of people, or is it like one specific minority group?
Because I can imagine Canada being multicultural anyways, right?
Yeah.
So, but however, we do have pockets of Canada that are heavily one community, right?
So is it?
So how's Newmarket's demographic like?
Predominantly Caucasian, if I can say. That was a question that was brought up with the guy that I'm running the camp with, as well as other people. They asked us, do you want people of, all race, or do you want to focus on one racial demographic? And the answer is no, that's not what we celebrate. We celebrate diversity. I don't care if you're black, yellow, brown, purple. If you fit into our demographic, come on in. The only ask that we have is that you have to be between the ages of 11 and 13. And we're mainly looking at female athletes. So that's kind of the demographic that we focus on. Aside from that, we don't ask about your how much money you make, how much money your household make. We don't care about what race you are. Coming in and we have a good time when we talk about how we can all celebrate and embrace diversity.
So going into, I understand that, yes, you're focused on the female, having female participants of your camp.
Yep.
I do know that you guys have a partnership with Competitive Sports Academy and Flex Training. And you guys just had a scholarship or something like that? Oh, nice. He's repping off the gear for those that aren't able to see.
Female scholarship.
Yeah, so how did you guys come about getting that scholarship, and even the partners, right, to give you the home court that you have?
It's super important because there's so many like-minded people out in, I guess, any community, any part of the world. It's just about finding them, right? So the opportunity to collaborate with these guys, CSAs, I call them, was one time we just decided to go hoop, and they had a court in Newmarket, and everything else was shut down. We booked a session for 2 hours, talked to them after. They were super passionate about giving back to the community as well. It was only natural for us just to collaborate. After one phone call, we realized where our goals are aligned, and boom, we have a partnership with them. In regards to how we came up with the scholarship fund, guys, it's a really silly answer, but we were raising money for a camp, right? We got sponsorship from FootLocker, we got the space booked by CSA, and then we raised over $1,000, and we're like, what do we do with this money? And the only natural sort of transition that we had was, let's throw into a scholarship fund, especially sort of the female athlete in our area, as well as just, I guess, around Canada, aren't super embraced, right? People don't look at that specific demographic of female athlete as leaders, and we want to empower them and put them into the spotlight. And that's where sort of our scholarship fund came from.
Yeah, I was gonna ask why you focused on female athletes in particular, because normally, especially in basketball, and in most sports, female athletes are always neglected, and they're always
WNBA.
WNBA, NCAA tournament. They're just not giving the women the right equipment or gyms, and even in tennis, when they were saying that female tennis players used to get paid, apparently they still do get paid less than male tennis players.
Not my Serena though. My Serena
Serena gets her money.
She gets her money.
And then people always say, "Oh, Serena, she's the best, one of the best female. She's the best female tennis player ever." And then male tennis players were saying she's the best tennis player ever.
Period.
Because she's won so many things. So why is it that women normally obviously get left behind in sports? Why did you decide to focus specifically on women? Because obviously, if you're trying to raise funds, and especially basketball, it's a very male-dominated sport, very male-commercialized sport. So didn't you think it might be easier to get funding for guys rather than girls? And why did you choose women?
No, absolutely. Again, as you mentioned, I feel like again, in sports specifically, I mean, other industries, definitely, females are always neglected. They're always, in some sense, viewed as the less capable party, which is not what I believe in. Again, it was just right. The camp that well, I guess the space that we're running on our camp in, CSA, they also focus on the female sort of grassroots level. And that perfectly correlated with what we wanted to do, right? Celebrate diversity, male, female, race, we don't really care. Economic status, we don't care about that neither. I think for us, it's just about bringing the female athlete to the forefront. And again, just highlight them, right, for who they are and some of the things that they do in the community. And our scholarship will be awarded to somebody who has showed leadership, who has celebrated diversity, as well as who had involvement in the community, which is our 3 pillars.
Nice. And then actually going a little bit deeper now is, yes, you kind of trying to address it to the females between 10 to 13. Or is it 11 or 13?
11.
Yes. So what are your hopes? Are you ever planning to expand that range up to, those that are seniors in high school, potentially want to become, varsity players in university? And then even yet still, how would you hope to grow there? Or how quickly do you think you can even get out to that level? And what steps are you going to take to be able to get there?
No, absolutely. So the ultimate goal that I kind of have for this camp is that we build a mentorship network 1 year at a time, right? So this year we're doing 11 to 13. Next year we might expand it to 2 camps where we have 11 to 13 and then 13 to 16, and have the older group come in and sort of have that connection with the younger group, right? Have them support each other, which is sort of the goal of what we're trying to get at here. And working closely with CSA, who are trying to build a female prep program in Canada, and hoping that we can collaborate with them and continue to help them bring in more athletes through our camp, and vice versa, bring athlete from the camp bringing athlete from their prep team to our camp. It's a collaboration. That's kind of the idea of how we want to grow this thing.
Yeah, nice. So T, what do you think about for yourself if you, let's say you had a niece that was in this age demographic?
Oh yeah.
How would you get her to feel motivated to jump into
I loved camps when I used to go to like all camps. I used to do like kayaking, like all the summer camps. You go there and you play all the different sports. And the good thing about them is you meet so many friends there, and you meet. I mean, obviously, you always get that camp romance. I'm not sure if you're going to get camp romance if it's all females. But
what kind of camps do you go to, bro?
Summer camps.
You went to church camp. No,
I went to sports camp. And sports camp, it went on.
Okay.
And they always put you into different teams. And it's like a bonding part of your childhood. I think I love sports, but I think sports help you, like confidence, leadership,
yes,
dealing with adversity, dealing with failure, dealing with winning. So you learn about different cultures, you learn about like each other and like different foods, you're like eating snacks. So it's just, I think the whole thing just makes you like, I'm pretty sure I was like the first black friend that like some of these white guys in my boarding school team had. So I think it just makes you like, it opens you to different cultures and different perspectives. And
so
absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits to camp. So we have benefits such as exercise, you gaining independence and responsibility, finding new friends, developing lifelong friends or situational friends, whatever.
Right.
And then perseverance, as you've already said, and problem solving. So it's like there's a lot of things you can learn in and out of sports, right? Yeah. And I guess Unicorn basketball camp will provide that and more, right?
Absolutely.
So that's the hope.
And they transfer into business, into your work life. Like if you're trying to motivate your team, I think of it when I was a manager, I'm like, it's a sports match. Every time I'm trying to motivate my team to win, we get commission. Or like, we're down, guys. Like the company's about to get shut down. We got to pull something out. Competition for me.
You know what that made me think of? It made me think of there's a movie called Any Given Sunday. So it's a football movie.
American football movie.
So Willie Beeman, which was played by Jamie Foxx. Yeah. Right. And there's a halftime when the coach, who was played by Al Pacino, and it's like the speech is called "War by Inches." Go listen to it.
It is the most motivating speech.
Yeah.
Dude, I listened to it like 1,000 times. He's like, yeah, every little inch, you look to the man on the right of you and the man on the left of you. Yeah. Dude, it's amazing. It gives you goosebumps. So, yeah. Good morning.
That's amazing. Sounds like I need to listen to that every morning getting out of bed, right? All right. Jacked up for the day.
Exactly.
What's your 5-year plan? Do you have a 5-year plan? I should hope so. Where do you see it going? Because you've already got the merchandise, you got the sponsors. Somehow I need to.
You got the vision.
You got the vision. You've got contacts like FootLocker. Everything seems to be going well. Where do you see it going? Like, do you want to expand? What's your plans?
Man, T, you caught me off guard on that one. 5-year plan. I barely have a 3-month plan right now. I mean, when we first started this camp, we wanted to do a quarterly camp, maybe for a duration of 1 week. But we're looking right now in the, I guess, pandemic world where we're actually looking at it's having a 1-day camp here and there whenever available, right? The hope is that we can run our camp in June 8th or first week of June and just kind of kickstart this whole thing. The idea of how we change from a week camp to a single day camp is because we want to test out the prototype, right? Like any product, maybe not basketball related or charity related, you need to have a prototype, test it out, see if there's market for this kind of stuff, and then you go full blown. But in terms of the long-term goal, I think our goal is to ultimately expand into a quarterly camp, and it'll be 1 week, and it's gonna probably roll out in around March, and then your summer month, and then before school starts, and then the winter break. That's essentially what we're looking at in terms of the camp. Ultimately, my goal is to expand this charity to not only encompass basketball. I want to build, homework sessions or after-school programs where we can help kids with whatever they need in terms of, extra help from school or anything that they would want to talk to.
The thing is, it's a really good idea, and I love the concept. It's a lot like
creating a community.
But I was going to say a bit like Boy Scouts, but like I never did, but like a cooler version because Boy Scouts has connotations. But like a cooler version, they go back, they look after like the younger ones. You impart your wisdom, your knowledge, and then like also it's always good to know people who are a bit older. So like. If you get beat up on the playground, you call your friend, or you just get advice.
Let me call my unicorn.
Let me call my unicorn.
Then
they pull up.
They pull up. You're like, I'll play you for it. One.
Guys, that's not very intimidating. Okay, you tell them you're calling
with a unicorn on the.
Exactly, but it's about giving these kids who might not have otherwise a network to get them to build networks with older kids, right? And of course, I want to get involved. I want to involve some of my other I guess communities like. My Shula community where I did my master's, or my company right now, I work at the Bass, and just pull different strengths that I have and build a community where we can all support these kids and help them grow and help them sort of, I know it's super corny, but help them achieve their goals and dreams, right? Whether basketball or not basketball related. That's kind of the goal here.
Yeah. When you, I've got a question to help everyone who's looking for sponsorship, since you seem to have no problem with it. How do you approach someone like FootLocker? Was it like a connection, or is it, did you just call up someone, email them until they responded, say, did you pitch them, elevator pitch? How did you, because you said you have a few sponsors, so how did you actually get FootLocker? We know about FootLocker, they're international, so.
Yeah, guys, I'm not that brilliant, okay? I know a guy, and he's actually my co-founder, I guess, Clinton. He worked at FootLocker, so it was perfect, right? They love to target, as sad as it sounds, they love to tap into this demographic, and we said, no problem, provide us with some gear, and then we can chat. And that's kind of how this whole collaboration kind of occurred. But at the end of the day, guys, I think, I was invited to be on the panel for Schulich today, and it's super important to just network, right? You would never know who you would find, and you would never know one day you might just need something from them. It's sadistic as that sounds, but sometimes I meet somebody and I said, hey, I'm running this camp. Would you be willing to help? And how can you help, right? It's about building your network or connect with everyone. Just be open-minded, right? Connect with anybody, and you never know what opportunity comes about. I mean, for us with the courts, we were just there hooping, just like, regular dudes. We got eight guys here hooping for someone's birthday. Ended up just chatting the guy up who owned the place, and he loved the idea, and we just took off from there. Yeah. So it's really just
it's that's what I actually like about basketball too, is that sometimes when you play enough with regular people, you start to not just talk about basketball, but you talk about your lives outside basketball, and you build up a friendship, and then like if you're lucky enough to meet someone that's like-minded with as you outside the basketball court, then it's like instant on fire. We've got this foundation basketball, but we also have other things working for us. So for those that that don't know, Schulich is actually the business school out at York in Ontario.
I think in terms of just what I take away from school is that just having sort of a mindset to continuously learn, right? That's super important in supply chain and in anything that we do, and just continue to better yourself. And I think that's also part of the process that we're going through with our camp, right? We're constantly evolving. In the beginning, when we first did it, 1 week camp didn't work. Okay, 1 day camp. It seems like it's working. I mean, pray to God that, you know, COVID ends soon and we can run the camp. And then we decided to evolve into scholarship funds. You know, it's just a constant sort of learning process for us. It's founders. First ever business guys. I'm not one of those guys who sold sneakers in high school and made a profit. I guess I'm a late bloomer. Never started anything myself except for basketball teams. But yeah, just continue to evolve, continue to learn. And that's some of the things that I was taught at Schulich.
Well, you know, they never say a lot of entrepreneurs start late. I've seen all those memes. Bill Gates didn't do this till blah, blah, blah. And so didn't. Everyone starts late. Like some of the most successful people started in their 30s, 40s, 50s. So I think it gives you an advantage.
The best time to start is now.
It's right now. No, it's yesterday.
That's it.
Yeah. This morning, get a head start. But yeah,
that's it. After listening to the motivation speech.
Yeah, the words of wisdom coming to you straight from David Wang out from China.
That's it, man.
Listen up.
Exactly. I don't know what the movie's called, but listen to the motivation speech.
So how many of you are running this whole camp?
So 2 of us are I guess part of the founding the board of directors, and then we got 2 coaches, one of which played at Georgian, so that's a college up in Barrie, and then we have another superb athlete in Josh, who played at I think, again, guys, I know I should know this, but I forgot which school he played in. But again, the piece about networking, right? I actually met Josh through playing in on a team with him in another league, and that's how we kind of just fostered our relationship from there. So it's a beautiful thing, I would say.
Nice. And then in regards to even running a camp out in Canada, we know there's several camps that you probably are combating with for at least grabbing their participants. So you have like Nike sports camps, right? They specialize in everything from soccer, basketball, swimming. You know, they have specific camps for all those things. You also have the Sport Camps Canada, and you have also YMCA, right? So everyone knows, everyone's gone to the Y, right? And and either, you know, lift some weights. Are you doing the YMCA?
I was doing the YMCA at YMCA. You kept professional.
Hey, man.
YMCA, anyway.
Are you the cowboy in this?
I'm the unicorn in this.
There you go.
That's so you're at the front then. All right. So anyways, regarding all these sports camps kind of thing, do you ever see yourself potentially working with them, or would you want to be like bought out by them, or, you know, have some sort of exit strategy, right? That's what a lot of people call it when they start up something and say, okay, my game vision is 10 years time, someone's going to buy me out, or I'm going to be too big to fail and you'll be the next Nike sports camp or something like that, you know?
Demi, man, we're going all the way, baby. No one's buying us out.
To the moon.
To the moon. No, with that being said, I think collaboration is super important. I hit on that a little bit earlier, right? If there are opportunities to collaborate without really, I would say, bearing our message, to help athletes, to empower them, to help them celebrate, you know, as I mentioned multiple times, sorry, of the repetition, but to help them celebrate diversity, understand what it means to be, you know, racially diverse, understand different cultures. If there are opportunities to collaborate, that we are on the same page on that, then for sure, collaboration is key. Again, I started this camp with a sole focus to help kids, you know, reach their goals and dreams through the support network that we're going to build and through this camp. So there's no plans to necessarily not do it in the future. If at one point we do, you know, gain sort of velocity, and let's say Nike approaches us and say, hey, can I incorporate some of the camp messages into our camp? Even better, right? That gives us a bigger platform to sort of get our message across.
Nice.
As soon as Black Lives Matter ended, I saw some of my Jewish friends saying like, oh, Jewish people are being persecuted and like no one's talking about it. And then after that, and like, then from America, I saw there's loads of Asian hate since COVID. And then today in England, I saw there's loads of Asian hate from COVID. And I watched this video on Sky on BBC News, and they said it was different interviews with Asian people in London and England, and saying they were like attacked and like called, you started the COVID and you started the coronavirus. And yeah, like all this random stuff. So I'm just like, is it like that the world's getting better and like when talking about these issues, or is it just that like people are just stressed and like it's just going from one, okay, let's stop being so racist to black people now, let's go back to the Jews, like, and then okay, look, the Jews are getting heat, let's move to the Chinese. Like, how do you think it's working? And do you guys see it? I know Canada's a lot more chilled, but do you see this in Canada? And also, do you feel that this Asian hate thing is new, or it's been there and COVID just... Yeah, do you think it's because of COVID, or do you think it's always been there? A lot of questions.
A lot of
loaded.
Whoa, let me write this down.
Yeah.
To be honest, guys, I think just racism in general in Canada, it's not as it's out and in the front of media attention in Canada. But you know, it's just crazy what's going on in the U.S., right? I mean, Black people are just getting. I mean, it's super graphic and it breaks my heart to say, but Black people are just getting gunned down on the streets with no mercy. That's not. That should never happen in any country under any circumstance, right? We have the jail system for a reason, right? If somebody does something wrong, I'm not saying that they should not be punished in a sense, but no one deserves to be just gunned down in the streets. That's not right, right? In terms of this new rise to Asian hate, I don't necessarily think it's something that's new. I think it's not. It's just that now it's being spotlighted, right? I feel like a lot of our perception of racism and all that stuff is based on what the media projects, what the media is feeding us.
What they tell us,
yeah, what they tell us essentially becomes the truth. And I think, racial discrimination has always happened to various races. And it's just being more than ever highlighted, especially now that everyone has a smartphone, right? When something happens, they take a video of that and that gets blown up. Boom. Now, I guess somewhere in the States is the most racist city in the world. Mm-hmm. But again, it's what media feeds us to believe. And I think the reason why I started this camp is because I didn't want to be just a passive protester, as I would call them, put up a post on Instagram, sort of almost to fit in. I mean, I'm not saying that that's wrong, but I just wanted to do more. And that's why I decided to do this camp.
You remember in episode 2 of Different Earths Radio, we talked about perception versus reality. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was the title of the episode. Yeah.
Yes. So we talked about how media portrays one certain dialogue versus to what actually happens in reality, kind of thing. So a lot of what we said, kind of Dave neatly summarized. So, but I think for sure that we need to be more conscious as individuals of what's going on in the world, and also be hesitant of the messages we hear, right? Because it could be influenced by conglomerates or money and things like that. But if we are lucky to hear the truth via social media or first or second degree of separation, then we can be able to make a more decisive conclusion on what the issue is and where we stand on the issue, right? And
we left out the most recent demographic we've been talking about, females, and about women being vulnerable. And you've just literally you're doing a camp that is aimed at females and minority, and helps everyone come together. So you just tick all the boxes.
Here, let me really throw in something and gear into the wrench or into the system. So let's talk about transgender. Transgender in sports, right? So let's even recently.
Hot topic.
Yes.
Where we go?
Recently,
scandal.
I'm not talking about your life, man. Let me talk about
Friday night with May.
That's a different podcast. That's not this one. So transgender. So we have people like Caitlyn Jenner, who was Bruce Jenner before, a decathlete, won a bunch of Olympic medals, became a woman and became Caitlyn Jenner, right? And Caitlyn is now running for, I believe she's trying to run for Congress or something like that. Yep. And she made a statement recently that she believes that anyone that's a transgender that was born a guy and becomes, gender reassigned to a woman should not be allowed to participate in female organized sports. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think like there's merit of truth to that? And then, you know, like if you want to even bring it close to home for Mr. Basketball over here, we have Dwayne Wayne's child, right? Zion?
No. Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade, D-Wade's child. She identifies as a girl, even though she was born
as a guy. Yeah. So, what do you guys think? So
I don't want to get cancelled, but I don't think I'm famous enough to get cancelled, so I can say what I want.
Okay. Hey, T, you never know, man. 5 years down the road, someone might dig
That's
this
the
up.
thing, so I've got to be careful.
Twitter finds its way back.
Yeah, you're
Exactly. You're on the BBC, you know, and then, whoa, what's going on here?
I agree with Caitlyn Jenner because as Bruce won Olympic medals.
Yes.
Now, if Bruce had the transformation and became Caitlyn, and then went in to compete with females, I'm pretty sure that she would destroy everyone because she destroyed all the guys. So I'm pretty sure she's going to destroy all the girls. So just like if I became a girl and it was basketball, I would be slam dunking on everyone.
Do you want to, man? Remember that movie?
No.
It's about a guy that dresses up as a girl to participate in WNBA.
Oh, wow.
So,
I should probably watch that.
Yeah.
And because most females can't slam dunk, like very, very small percentage of WNBA females can dunk. So I'd just be there dunking on people and it wouldn't be fair. So I understand though why they feel that why should I compete with guys I identify as a woman. So it's a very tricky subject. But I do think that they have an advantage mainly because of the muscles and the hormones. So I think it should be.
How about you, Dave?
Oh man, I don't want my camp to be canceled. But honestly, guys, you know, this is not a subject that I'm super, I guess, knowledgeable in. But based on my very, very minimal knowledge, and ignorance is bliss, you know, there are physiological differences between a man and a woman, right? In a sense of sports should be fair especially in a competitive setting. I think that, I don't want to say it, but it does give the individual who identifies it's a female as born as a man some sort of advantage, right? If we don't allow steroids, if we don't allow, you know, I guess enhancements, why do we allow this kind of stuff, which is just innately built different for physiological, you know, reasons? So I would also agree with Caitlyn and T.
We're really agreeing with Caitlyn, though. We're really agreeing with Caitlyn. So take it up with Caitlyn, guys. If anyone has any issues, we agree with Caitlyn.
All right. So, and that actually brings into another subject, which is how scholarships are awarded, like athletic scholarships. So let's even say, you know, there's a scholarship set for women, right? But, you know, there's a transgender, someone that's very athletic and identifies as a woman now. Should that person be allowed to receive a scholarship? And, you know, that essentially now trickles down the system. Then that person is playing in the professional sport or varsity sport, right? So eventually, maybe in like 5 or 10 years, it might just be a team full of transgender people.
That's what I was going to say next. So, like in Brazil, they have the men's bathroom, the female bathroom, and then they have in between, which is like a man, half a man, and a woman with the dress on the other side. And I think it should be a bit like that. They should play
in their own league.
But then again, if a girl identifies as a guy and a guy identifies as a girl,
do they play each other?
If they play each other, it's still not fair, is it? Because of it is a complicated subject.
Yeah, it's very tricky, right?
But I feel like everyone's trying to go, like one of my friends actually dated transgender girl. I will not be naming him, but he did, and he loved her. Like each their own, but I feel that it's already hard enough being transgender in this world. So I feel that they would get more resentment if they were then coming and winning, like took the title from Serena Williams, just smoked every female in every sport. There would be more resentment towards them rather than more acceptance. So I just think it's a delicate thing because people like, and as a basketball player, we don't like stuff that's not fair. So right now I'm looking at Brooklyn and I'm like, they have Kevin Durant, they have James Harden, they have Kyrie Irving. It's not fair. They have too many superstars. So imagine if this team comes in and it's like all transgender females,
and they're all like 7'3".
They're all 7'3", and they just destroy every female team in the WNBA for the next 10 years. I'll be like, that's not fair. Well, as a basketball player, you always want it to be like competitive, and you want it to be like, there's a chance they're really good, but there's a chance we could beat them. Not like you shoot, they're like, get that out of here. And you're like, oh.
Well, for those that are betting, I bet you have easy bets on that team.
On that team. All my money would be going on that team. I would sell some of my Bitcoin for that team.
Right.
No, that's it, man. And again, sports should be predicated, especially competitive sports, right? Should be predicated on fairness. And again, physiological differences. Not saying what's good and bad. Maybe females are better at certain sports. That I think there's this whole highlight where male would, go out and dominate. A female born as a male would go out and dominate. That might not always be the case, right? There might be some sports which favors the physiological advantages of a female, right? So I think sports should be predicated, especially competitive sports, should be predicated on fairness. And if you have an unfair advantage, that should not be allowed, right?
Yeah.
True. Well said. Well said.
Oh, thank you.
So you know what time it is?
Quiz time, education, knowledge, read a book. Let's get it.
Wow. I was accepting game show time, but
game show time. Sorry. I'm excited to hear these questions.
All right.
Education and knowledge.
All right, great. So it's not going to be a very, you don't need to be too well educated. Just, you should know some stuff. So because we're talking about sports camps and basketball, let's go ask you guys some questions out. So we'll pit you against each other. So Dave versus Timaine, in terms of, who's going to get a right answer, who's not going to get a wrong one, and who will be the victor. We will soon find out. So number one question is...
Here we go, baby.
All right. Of these 4 people, who of them attended a sports camp, or sorry, not a sports camp, a summer camp? So we have Larry David, we have Seth Rogen, Mark Zuckerberg. So you think of that nerdy little guy, right? And Denzel Washington.
Which of them didn't attend? Which of them did attend?
Which did?
How many of them?
I listed out 4, I believe.
Yeah, but how many of them did attend?
You got to tell me, it's like true or false. You got to be like, yes, this guy did or did not.
Okay.
And just to really help you guys a little, just remember, sports camps are not just, summer camps are not just sports, right? So it's like sports, science,
acting,
equestrian, right?
That's horse riding. That's horse riding for those of you who do not know.
Theater, band camp,
Band camp.
Yeah.
There was this one time. Band camp.
All right, so let me read it again. So Larry David, did he attend summer camp?
Yeah.
Yes, Dave?
I'm gonna go with he did.
All right, nice. I'll confirm at the end. Don't worry.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Seth Rogen.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I think so. He was there like smoking weed behind the huts at summer camp.
Or is that
probably hooking up with some girls?
Is that how your summer camps went? I feel like you spoke in first person there.
No, I'm talking about Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen.
All right, yeah.
Him and Elon Musk.
I'm gonna give that one a yeah as well.
All right, nice. And then Mark Zuckerberg.
No.
100% yes.
Maybe he's at space camp.
All right.
Geek.
I'm a yes from Mark as well. I feel like this is going to be one of those questions that's tricky. It's like you think, Mark, no way, man. Founder of Facebook? Nah, not possible.
Yeah, he spent too much time in his bedroom instead of going out and.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, so
coding camp.
And then
coding camp.
Coding
camp. Yeah. Right.
See?
Coding camp. That's true. Yeah. And then there's Denzel Washington.
I'm gonna say a no for this.
No,
I'm gonna say yes to be different because I feel like Denzel was a cool guy. He could have been an acting camp or like baseball camp or like basketball camp because he's just Denzel. He can do whatever, man. He's Denzel.
It's true.
He can do anything.
Yeah.
He can.
Or maybe he's like, I'm too cool for camp. I'm too cool for camp.
That's it, man.
My man.
My man. Denzel, you don't have to go to camp. Thanks, Dad. My man.
You ain't got nothing on me. All right. So Larry David, he did go to camp. He went to All-American camp. Seth Rogen, he
did
also went to camp.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go.
What kind of camp's that?
In British Columbia. So
in BC.
Yeah, in BC, yeah.
Cool.
Mark Zuckerberg.
You didn't go to space camp or coding camp?
He went to camp. Yes, he went to
Hey,
camp
let's
to
go.
Island Lake in Pennsylvania, and Denzel Washington.
This is a tiebreaker because I said yes, you said no.
You all said yes. So
he said no.
The answer is he said no. You said yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes. He did go to camp, and he went to YMCA. Out in Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's so cool, guy. I think. Did you go to camp?
Of course, I went to camp. I went to basketball camp.
Oh, yeah.
You can't tell on the court though. Can't tell on the court, Demi.
I can't tell.
There you go.
It was a long time ago. I've refined my skills since then. So thank you for noticing.
No, sorry. No. Camp was a regular thing, man. Especially when I was younger. Yeah, I love camps.
All right. Yeah. Out of these 4 movies, which ones have a scene that's based out in a camp? We have.
If the American Pie's in there, I'm putting that one down.
You know what? I will say American Pie.
Yes.
American Pie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Parent Trap. Cheaper by the Dozen, and the Goofy Movie. So think about the plots.
Answer to this.
So
I know all the answers except for Cheaper by the Dozen.
Sorry, yeah. I have never seen Cheaper by the Dozen.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, so yeah, Cheaper by the Dozen is about 2 families that have 6 kids. Single parents, each of them have 6 kids, and then they start dating each other to become one family, and then become a dozen kids in one household.
Okay.
So kids, that's
camp.
Okay, yeah. So which movies?
What's the question? Which of them doesn't have?
Which
camp?
one does have camp?
All of them.
All of them. Okay, and you?
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Same thing. All of them.
The answer is you're both wrong.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
Parent Trap definitely has it. Because I remember those twins.
You mean Lindsay Lohan playing her?
Lindsay Lohan before she was a bad girl, yeah. The innocent Lindsay Lohan.
Okay.
And then Goofy Movie, I'm pretty sure that was a camp. That was a camp.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Goofy Movie, actually. I've never seen that
Goofy Movie did not have a camp.
Yeah,
they just went on a fishing trip.
They did go on a fish. That's why I thought the camp.
And they went to a Powerline concert.
The concert, and then that song was
Eye to Eye, for those that don't remember. All right. Cheaper by the Dozen does not have a camp scene, so don't worry.
I thought they went to the, didn't they go to?
They went to the lake.
Yeah.
They just went to a lake. That's not a camp.
This guy's tricking us.
Yes. And of course, band camp.
Band camp,
American Pie.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So last question now.
Tiebreaker.
I'm going to give you guys 3 camp names, and you're going to tell me what activity.
Oh, good. I thought you were going to go.
What activity is actually being done at this camp? Okay. And then a bonus question would be name which one is like the most expensive one. All right.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we got play-by-play camp. So what do you think that is? Dave, you better not be checking Google.
No, man, I'm writing my answer down.
Let me see.
All right. Play-by-play camp. All right.
Yeah.
Then we have Moneyball Academy.
Okay.
And then we got the junior and teen camp.
Okay. Moneyball.
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm going to say that is about basketball.
Okay. Moneyball is about basketball. Yeah. Okay. What do you think Moneyball is about?
It's about gambling, guys. Teaching kids how to gamble. Wait, is that legal? Oh shit! I don't want to get canceled. Okay, no, take that back. Okay, my second option. It's about trading stocks. It's about being financially literate.
Okay, all right. Oh. That's a good one. You already said your answer. You can't change it now, T. All right. I'm gonna make you go first on this next one. Play-by-play camp. What's that one about?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with acting. It's one of those like drama camps. You go and you act.
Okay, so acting.
What sports? Oh, American football camp.
Okay, so NFL camp.
Yeah.
All right. You don't need to say American. We get it. You know?
Okay. Yeah. Well. Okay.
Okay. And then junior and teen camp. What is the focus of that particular camp?
You want to go first? Is that a religious camp?
It could very well
be.
I'm
going to say church camp.
Church camp. All right.
I'm going to say cooking camp.
Cooking camp. Yeah, that's a legitimate answer.
Man.
That's a good
cooking.
All right. So in order of how we said it, so Moneyball Academy is actually housed out of Wharton University. And this particular camp, they focus on stats behind sports. So so if you guys remember the movie Moneyball,
oh man,
yes, with Brad Pitt and James Hill, right? Oh, Jonah Hill,
yeah,
yes,
Jonah Hill. It's with Jonah Hill. Yeah.
So that would have been a giveaway, but you missed it. But it's all right. So there's a camp out there that helps kids understand how to read into statistics behind sports, kind of thing.
Different sports.
All
sports, yeah.
I was close. Financial literacy, numbers,
Oh, yeah. Finance, yeah.
But you didn't mention sports at all. You didn't mention sports. I was close. I said basketball. Basketball's a sport, and Moneyball has a ball in it. So yeah, no. We're both.
Isn't Moneyball about baseball? Moneyball's about baseball, isn't it? Like the movie.
It is about baseball. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Bro, I got the word balls.
I think so.
Can you stop? Clearly, you didn't learn about being humble and accepting defeat. You're just
People don't like to lose.
Okay. All right. Play-by-play camp. So, one of you said theater.
I'm theater.
And you went American football. So, play-by-play camp. This one is actually focused on teens between 10 to 18, and teaches them how to become good
actors.
Coaches.
Sport broadcasters. So sport anchors.
Oh my God.
That's theater, right? It's a little bit of acting in there.
No.
Drama?
So think of we got
commentators.
Commentators. We got Shaq. We got what's the guy that you like? Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp.
They were
athletes.
Yeah, they were athletes.
Yeah.
This is for non-athletes.
Well, this is for
anyone
teams. So it's non-professionals yet, but for people that want to become like a journalist in sports, but wants to be vocalize and be a good announcer. Welcome to the Baptist. Not me, because I'm not a very good baseball player. So, anyways, and then the very last one is junior and teen camp. So one of you said church camp, and
cooking.
You said cooking. All right. So this particular camp is an 8-week camp, and their main focus is actually teaching kids languages. So French, German, and Spanish. All right. So out of the three, which one do you think is the most expensive one?
I'm going to go with Moneyball.
Moneyball?
I was
Moneyball.
You guys just think money all the way.
No. When I heard words, I'm like, yep. When I heard the school, I'm like, yep, that sounds expensive.
Yeah,
it's Wharton. Yeah.
All right. So actually, the most expensive
languages
is the languages one. So it's actually $25,000 to participate in this 8-week camp, and it's based out in Switzerland. So yes, it's based out of Switzerland. They include airfare and accommodation, but it's not just languages alone. You get a chance to walk with alpacas and all these. There's even a optional ski and snowboard excursion that you can participate in. So
how much more money do I have to throw at the camp to do that with the snowboard and skiing?
Yeah. Well, at least you'll say it in like French. Ooh, mon chéri. So it's actually considered the most expensive camp in the world. So that's why it was on the list.
Crazy.
So, yeah. So thanks a lot, Dave, for participating in the game show and coming in to Different Roots Radio. Now, as always, we like to give an opportunity for our listeners and watchers an opportunity to listen to what your words of wisdom are, to get them going into starting their own camp or their own charity. And what would that be?
Actually, I had a similar sentiment today in the morning when I was speaking on a panel, and I think really what that revolves around, it's having a goal and constantly being in a pursuit of that goal. I know it sounds super cliche, but when I was doing my master's at Schulich, I was working about 30 hours a week while volunteering at the town. It's on different boards. It's while I was doing school, and I was participating in extracurriculars at school. And a lot of people didn't think I could do it, and they asked me why I worked so hard to do all these different facets of school and in my personal life. And my answer is, I ultimately want to build a charity which focuses on providing sort of the essential services and goods to countries like in Africa, because I had an experience going to Uganda. And I think ultimately everything that I do now, as well as prior, it's revolved around that goal. And I think ultimately, if you have a goal in mind and you're constantly in pursuit of that goal, that will not only keep you on the right path with everything you do, but it ultimately just motivates you, right? So I think no matter what kind of business you're trying to start, the most important thing is understand your end goal and do everything that you can to pivot yourself towards that end goal.
All right, thank you. Thanks a lot, Dave, for that. And it means that you're goal oriented and stay focused on your goal, so that you'll be able to endure whatever happens. So we really appreciate it, Dave. So tell us, how could individuals from our side of the pond be able to contact you or register their kids or nephews out to your camp? What are your social handles so they can connect?
Unfortunately, we're not international and we don't charge $25,000 to get you to our camp, but we can be found on Instagram. It's unicorn_b-ball camp, I believe.
All right, nice. All right, thanks a lot, Dave, for coming in. We really appreciate it, and hopefully we wish you a lot of success. And if you get any NBA stars teaching at camps, just let them know I'm also between the age of 11 and 13, and I'll happily take a coaching lesson from them.
Oh my gosh! No, thank you guys so much for having me. It's been a blast.
All right,
keep up the good work, man.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Don't forget to hit the like button to subscribe to Different Roots Radio on YouTube, Twitter, and all audio listening channels. Our talks air every other Monday. One love.